Yeah, it does look like it does a lot of the cool things that we want it to do. Um, and some things I think actually, now I talked to Imo before this stream, who's Tara Jobs here, and so some of the inspiration probably is going to seem similar. And I think one thing that we can do to improve what I did earlier was uh, I made it so if you click this, it goes directly to get semantic model as a like method. It doesn't matter where you click; it's just all like clickable link. But it does seem to separate out into two different links for this thing where you can do C# compilation and just go to the type, and then you can click get semantic model and go to that method. So we might want to do that. I think we've heard some good feedback on that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I have the very, very base UI that I created after stream last week. And you can see it does have some problems right now. So like it's cutting off these characters for the URL. So we're gonna go fix that. But it does kind of work. So if you click things, it navigates, does what it's supposed to. Currently, it doesn't parse files, so we want to add that as well. The first thing I want to do is fix the highlighting here. So let's go a little bit into like how you create a UI for something like this and how you would access it. So right now, we added a tool window into our extension, which is called Stack Explorer. It shows up in other tool windows. So if you click that, it opens this, and then I just added a add from clipboard button, or you can paste if you have it selected already. Both of those work. And then it just parses everything out and lets you click it. I'm gonna go ahead and close this for now because we're not gonna be looking at that too much. But let's kind of show you just what goes into this. So we look at where this is defined. In our Visual Studio, Microsoft Visual Studio Languages package, which is where, if you look for the Roslyn package, this is the actual Visual Studio package that gets installed. So what we did was we added a provides tool window, this call stack explorer window, which then, if you look in the call stack explorer window, what do I call it? I just call stack explorer right there. So I break this out into a few different things. There's the tool window, which represents the interaction for Visual Studio to open this UI. So we're going to have a few cases where like it's first created, we just have call stack explorer as the title, and this content is this root content right here. And then we have when the actual thing is opened. So if we look at the way I did this was I have a view model that gets added when something is open. And the reason we want to create the view model is because we have a strong correlation between our call stack explorer requiring the view model underneath and binding that as a data context. So there's a few ways we could do this. We could have this bind as a data context as a like nullable data context and then later bind again. I don't know if that's kind of my preference. I like to have a strong correlation between requirements. And so when you create this control, it does require a view model to already be created. So we have to do a little bit of shenanigans to kind of deal with that. And one of those is we have this call stack explorer root. And so this represents the kind of interface layer for like as far as WPF is concerned. Oh, let me start my music, by the way. I'm like ranting and I didn't even have any music. Let's get some music going. There we go. But yeah, this call stack explorer root kind of works as the in-between here, whereas we have a set child, and this takes a framework element. And this framework element is going to be added to this grid. So all this root has is a grid and a text block for when there's nothing in the grid. And so if this child that's going to be added is null, then we show this text block. Otherwise, we're going to show it as collapsed. So this is for the cases where we have nothing in our tool window yet. That shouldn't happen too often here, but sometimes with loading stuff it can be. So we want to have something shown just in case. So let's look at where this gets called. This gets called when you set the view model. What we do is we look to see if this value is null. We don't want null to be an actual valid value to set here. Once once you set it, we don't want to set it to null. We're never going to clear this view model. We want to just set it to new view models if we have new context we worry about. And then we save the view model here, and we call root set charge. Easy as that. The kind of magic here as far as how that hooks up is, if you look at our package, we have this command handler, the call stack explorer command handler. So what we do is we hook this command handler up for when this command ID is. So there's a package command ID that stands for when call stack explorer, which is the view to other windows call stack explorer command. When that gets clicked, we want a command handler to handle that callback. And so we're doing the hookup here in this initialize, and I'll show you where that gets called in a second. And then in this execute is where we look for the window itself, which is this tool window that we found. We make sure if the view model is null, we want to create a new view model, and if it's once that's done, we just want to show this window. So that means every time you click this, we want the window to be visible. It may not create a new one; it may already be a tab there. But that's fine. And the last magic piece here, if you look for this one reference, we have this load call stack explorer menus async. That comes from our Roslyn package. So we look at the Roslyn packages here. This is called on load components background async. So what happens here is we have some components that get loaded. We await to go off of the UI thread here. We load some components that don't want to block the UI thread. In this case, we're going to be hooking up a command handler, but it's okay to not block the UI thread. The only threat here really is that the user, while our package is loading, clicks on things too quickly, which shouldn't happen that often. And then they may see that this command handler doesn't work. So basically, while this is getting loaded, and if you follow this back even further, you're going to be looking at like load components async, which is an overridden thing for our package. This goes through and loads a bunch of stuff, and then we eventually load things in the background. In the background, we're loading our menu things. We already have some other stuff like load interactive menus async, where this hooks up interactive menu commands, and we're going to do our call stack explorer commands here. So I went ahead and did that after stream last week, mostly because a lot of it is tedious about like GUIDs and stuff, and I always get it wrong. But I can show you the Git changes that went into that, actually. I think if we look at this, yeah, I just called it work in progress, because I'm smart. Let's see, features called fix the rename, blah, blah, blah. That was just a merge. Merge. Oh man, I merged a lot of things. I should filter. Can we filter it by author? So that way I did it. I don't use this one all that often. Bunch of other pull request stuff, blah blah blah. What's today's date? 9/2, so I don't know, like the 20-something. Merged too many things. I don't know. There is something here where it actually adds the call stack explorer stuff. It's not this work in progress one. I'll find that in the command line later. I'm not too good with UIs. Yeah, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna do a few things. The first thing I want to track down, I said, is I want to fix where the blue lines are not correct. So when you're going to click on a method signature, there are cases where if it doesn't have add at the beginning, it still doesn't wrap that correctly. I already kind of know where that's going to be, but I'll kind of walk you through the process of what's wrong with that. So if we look at how I've broken this up, I have a view model for each line in the call stack itself, and this represents a parsed line, and all it's going to do is calculate this visible inline section that shows, and then create a link, and and that link will do a navigate to symbol. So there's a few optimizations we can do here because this is a symbol that may or may not exist, right? So we know this symbol could exist and we want to resolve this, but once we resolve it once, we don't really need to change anything. So we can cache that. But the major thing here is if you look at these inlines, hyperlink comes from this symbol text here, which takes this original line, and then takes a substring of the symbol span start and symbol span.link. So it tells me either the original line was trimmed in some way that the symbol span is no longer correct, or the symbol span has always been wrong. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our parsing to see where that gets created. So if we go back to here, we're going to look at where these parse lines get turned in. And this is going to be a file result because we were looking at something with a file in it. So if we go back to here, all right, here is where our new results are returned. So I kind of already know that coming into this. We're going to debug through it and see why the span is wrong. Load this project up. I have to look at why this doesn't actually load at all. That's actually interesting. I think it's because we're connected to a command handler, so it doesn't try to add this view model until the command handler exists, and maybe we should have a case where it adds it if it already was open, or maybe it should never just continue to stay open. I don't know if that's a setting we can set. So I'm going to close this and reopen it. I think that will fix that problem for now. Yeah, okay. And then I want to make sure I save this in a notepad so that way I always have it ready, and let's look at why this symbol span is wrong. So we can look at the symbol span, says 3 to 32. The interesting thing is it assumes this starts with at, which was true. But then the line gets interesting. So the line already gets the substring of the stack trace here. So we remove at, which, let's not do that. I think we actually want the at to be visible if it's there. That kind of looks like magic, right? But if it's not there, what else was wrong? So we trimmed it, it looks for blah, blah, blah. The symbol start assumes StackTrace start.link. That's the bug right there. So if we don't trim this, it'll be fine because we're assuming that it always starts with this. Actually, we can just go back up here. We should be able to. Oh, editing continue is not working. I didn't pay the correct coinage for editing continue to work. We're just gonna run without debugging. It runs a little bit faster because I'm pretty sure that fixes the issue. Oh man, I really should not keep this open. It just keeps showing off the fact that I have a bug there that I'm not going to fix yet, because I don't really know how to, and it's not that pertinent yet. Will be before we release this, though. Sweet. Okay, so that fixes that issue. Now we have our highlighting correct. It's interesting, it looks like it does remove this space here. I don't know where that space went. So that could mean that we look at our view model here, when we're producing the runs, if you didn't know, inlines are kind of like blocks on how in WPF you can do subsections of text to be styled differently. So I'm creating like a hyperlink inline here. You can kind of think of it like HTML, but it's not exactly one-to-one, but you get the idea. Like it's blocks that make up a span of text and how they're going to be presented. So what did I do here? Span +1. This probably needs to be just the end here. I'm going to trust that's correct. So let's look at the next bit that we want to do. The main thing is, okay, so we've provided this hyperlink. We want to check if this is something that will have file information in it. So the line is, what was that, file line result? And then else we just want to yield to the end of the run here. So if this is the file line result, we have a file span that we made. And we just want to do the same thing here. So create a new hyperlink for the file hyperlink. File text equals line dot original line dot substring, and we want to go from the file span to the end of the file span. Let's go to start. Move this up a line here. And we're going to do file hyperlink dot inlines dot add. We're going to add this text here. And then we're going to do a request navigate and click. We're going to change this to file hyperlink here, and then we're going to do navigate to file. We're going to have to create that. And then we will yield return this. And then we need to do something similar here, where we're gonna, if there's anything after the file span that we care about, we want to make sure we include it. So it's going to be file span.end. And let's create this function here. We want this to be async as well, so we're going to run this in a task. Copy some of this. All right. Then we want to try catch this because we don't really want this to just throw in a user. If anything, we want to show a UI here, we'll show something that for now we're just going to report it, and then we have a debug assert because if we're debugging, we want to catch this. It's kind of just an easy way to do a try catch and still break into a debugger. Without like an if debug thing, because I don't know, those just don't rub right for me. Alright, so we need to figure out how to do this. First of all, we want to do a debug.asserts, and then line is file line result. Let's do it this way. We can be a little bit more assertive about this. We'll do a contract.throwUp null here, because we're doing an as. And this will throw an exception, which will get caught by our handler if that's the case, but it also lets the nullable reference types stuff know that this after this point this is no longer null, so we can treat it as if it's not null. So we want the symbol span here, or no, file span. We kind of want to do the same thing here, which is just this as a substring. Let's assume for now that it contains a line number. So they're split by a semicolon. There might be cases we want to handle in the future, but we're not doing that for now. I wonder if we should do something like this where we do a resolve symbol async, but we do a resolve file async. Maybe. We'll do the parsing here for now. I already know we're going to have to navigate. I'm just going to copy some of this. Okay. Var file. Let's do split equals file text dot split on that. So the file name is the first part of that. The line number is the second part. Now here's the interesting bit. On local testing, this is always going to be true because my file path is always going to match, but we want to handle cases where the file path doesn't match. So if we're looking for files in the current solution, I believe we have to go through each project. And then inside of that, we want to do inside the documents here. we want to find the source location for a line. I don't actually know how to do that off the top of my head. I assume if we get the source text here, we want to handle cases where this is too large in case the source changed. So we want line number. Wait, what did you miss? We will be StackTrace exploring. Yes, we will. We are adding to our UI. We already have some of the base UI here. Currently we're adding the navigation based on the file name. But yeah, we're doing more StackTrace Explorer stuff. We want this to be the minimum here because we don't want to go over. So there's a new Twitch category, software and game development. I did not. Should I? Whoa, hang on. Can I update like midstream? I bet I can. Software and game development, done. Thanks for the tip. I'm even more official now. All right. Yeah, no, that's how it happens. Okay. We can watch the influx of viewers as I like navigate to a span. Hang on. Is there other ways to navigate? Navigation service dot. Wait, where's? I forgot my navigation service. Yeah, we're gonna watch as I struggle to do things I've never done before. And that's the pinnacle of software development, I think. Is if you're doing something you've already done before, maybe you should stop doing that, because then you've written more than once, and I hear that's a bad thing. Okay, so I want to navigate to line and offset. Yes, I do. Workspace, document, the ID, line number here, and offset of 0, and cancellation token. Perfect. I don't need to worry about any of this. I just need to make sure that this line number exists. Okay, so there's a few cases we want to handle here. If the document name is the same, this should be a document. We want to handle cases where it's exact, so the file path is exactly what we expect. But there's also cases, do I configure away here while I'm talking. There's also cases where they will never match correctly because the full file path doesn't exist for you, right? And we want to match a document name to that. And we probably want to, I don't know how we're going to do this correctly, but for now we'll just save this and do the first one. I think the best approach probably would be the document name that matches with a similar folder structure, but I don't know what constitutes that, right? Like how far back do you look inside of the document, like the solution folders, etc. Like it gets kind of tricky. For now, we're going to just choose the first one, and know that that will need to change later. We'll add a comment so we know this is not good. Oh, I thought you could index into a hash set. I'm gonna do just first. I'm going to do navigate to document async here. Document, line number, configure await false. Nice. This is how we're going to navigate. Hoping my document span was correct. Let's find out. How is Australia doing on this wonderful Friday? Is it afternoon? I don't know. Who knows? Actually, I do know. It's currently 11:37 in Melbourne. I hope your Friday is going well and that I'm distracting you from work in a good way. Oh yeah? Has it been a rough week for you? I'll tell you, like, if you ever need me to stream, just let me know. I'm here for it. I'll set aside, I'll just literally scrub off everything off of my calendar and like, time to stream. David needs it. All Stack Explorer. I never have anything in the clipboard. That's correct, so I'm gonna do that. Oh, this is wrong. Been feeling particularly unproductive. It's just not getting anywhere. Do I use any time management techniques? Sort of. It depends on what you mean by time management. Are you talking about like time boxing something because you can't make headway on it and you're like, how do I know when to stop? Or are you thinking about like how to make sure you're accomplishing what you wanted throughout the day. I don't know what Pomodoro is. Let's look it up. Oh. Use the timer to break work into 25-minute intervals. That sounds interesting. No, I don't use anything like that. It could also be a pasta. 25-minute work, 5-minute break. So the way I do it, and this is actually not upheld pretty well on stream, but generally speaking, I do, I take a break about every hour of work, give or take meetings, etc. Like, you know, it's not perfect timing, but I usually take like a 5 to 10 minute break. I'll get up, I will check on my dog, I will, if I need to do dishes or something, that's like a time for me to do dishes, right? Like it's kind of a like, what is a short task I can do that is not work? And that's also helps me a lot in my day-to-day because you know, I work from home, but I know you do too as well. And like it helps me get my tasks done for the day. And then when I'm done with work, I'm generally not worried about tasks unless they're gonna take longer. So like yesterday, I had a task where I was like, okay, I need to fold laundry because I did laundry yesterday, or even put laundry in the dryer or whatever. Like if you're doing it every hour, it's kind of fine. I don't have an alarm. I just check the hour marker and say like that's how long. And I start to get stressed after that if it's been like too long. It's a mental thing. I don't really have an app that tracks any of that or anything. But yeah, about every hour I get up and do something. Is the short story for that one. I didn't know those were. I didn't know like Pomodoro was an actual time boxing technique. Especially because I treat a lot of the time I spend outside of work, I still think about work because I'm usually doing menial tasks anyways. So like there's a whole study on how productive you can be even taking a walk, etc. And that's, I think that kind of contributes to work time, and that's how I rationalize it. Because my value is my brain, not my physical presence. Getting back to this, we messed up pretty hard. Let's see why. You can just feel you've got lots of things in the air that I'm working on, but not really progressing on. Ooh, I do have times like that. I would actually be very interested. Do you feel like you are the blocking factor, or do you feel like or do you feel like it's external forces? I guess that's the first question. I mean, I know it's definitely about needing a better metric though, as code push to R is too hard on myself. Yes. Code push to PR, I guarantee metric wise you're doing better than me on that. And I've had productive weeks. I've had a productive week this week. There's a few ways I establish like productivity, and one of them is how much I enable others to be productive. So I don't just do code push to PR, but I also do PRs that I do, which is another code metric where I've enabled code to get checked in, and I spend time on that, right? Like some code reviews are very simple, very quick, but some are actually time consuming, and it's worth spending the time on, and it's as much as a task, right? So I've kind of started to consider that code I check in and code I enable people to check in should carry the same weight at the end of the day, because that's the important thing, is something is getting fixed. If I enable somebody to check something in, I'm doing the right thing. I do have a weird amount of triage related things as well. And this week my success has been around doing triage. So we've had an influx of like customer feedback, and I've been doing triage around that and staying on top of it. And we have, you know, accessibility goals and stuff that need to be met, and I'm on top of that this week and like mailing people and helping people out. So my success this week has been very little of me coding and me helping other people code. And I think it took me a long time to get used to that being a success metric, but it is. And I think you should consider that. Oh yeah, my break point. I like went off on a tangent. I like that tangent though. I like conversations like this. I need to add a clear button. This will literally make my life easier if I just add a clear button. Let me go do that. And then we will add. Then we figure out what's going on. We're gonna go add a clear button. Because it's just gonna make my life easier. No. I like how it just, like, you know the content there and it still calls it button click and button click one. Perfect. There. You feel like you've been very unsuccessful this week too? Do you think it's like, do you think it's because you've been blocked by tough problems? Are you also feeling that like you haven't managed your time well? I will say, like, we're still in a pandemic too. Like, I have a lot of changes in how I've considered success. Oh, yeah. Investigation is really important. And also learning, right? Like, it is very hard to feel rewarded when you're investigating something, and especially if you haven't figured out the solution. But it's like inadvertently contributing to the future. Oh yeah, Australia, I can only imagine because I only get, you know, news on it and I'm not there. It looks rough. But yeah, it's I don't know, especially early in your career, investigation is probably like the most success you can have, even though it's not a tangible success. Like, you can't report you fixed bugs, you can't report you've done anything, but you're growing your way into a, like, the next level of ownership, which is understanding the space well enough to guide others if they ask you. And I think that's really important. And how you kind of grow in a career is natural. Like, I think especially how we do work at Microsoft is you give people like a few tasks, and this is like their starting off gauging point, right? And you gauge like how well they can complete these tasks. The problem is, like, once they start completing those tasks and they nail it, the next thing is for them to be challenged harder and to like grow into something that is tougher for them to do and is going to take longer. And so their success metric that they've kind of built on is very much changed, but there's no way to gauge that, right? And so you're checking in less code, you're fixing less bugs, you're adding fewer features, and it's just, what are you doing with your time? How can you, at the end of the week, say you did something? And that's tough because I don't have a good answer for you. I can say it's very time sensitive, and like growth is hard to see, and you'll appreciate it probably like a year from now. But right now, it's very, very tough to say it feels good. I should change the title to just Career Advice with Andrew. Should do maybe one day I will just do a career advice stream. Where because I've done a few times where I talk to people at like UW and stuff, and I don't know. There's also, I don't feel unqualified to give career advice, but people put me in a position to do it, so I do it anyways. Oh, David, how did your panel go? You had your panel yesterday for you, right? Not enough questions about obscure quirks in C sharp. I mean, do you want more questions? Like, I have questions about obscure quirks in C sharp. It's all about web or Azure or Power Platform. Where do they think these things come from? Do they think they just exist out of nowhere? Kids. Kids. Get off my programming lawn. That's not going to add anything. Okay. Let's do this. What is this? Okay, that looks right. That looks right. Oh my god. I just returned the wrong thing. I don't know. I mean, like I said, do you want... we can talk about obscure things in C sharp. Oh, there was a good thread the other day. What is the worst name functions in C sharp? And I assume this pertains to the runtime, especially. One of the top runners was file.exist, which a lot of people hate. But I'm in the other camp on that one. Wouldn't it be awesome if hot reload worked in Visixes? It would. It's a world I support. Oh! Hang on. I did not do this. So, I was talking about this earlier on stream, where we have this StackTrace Explorer. One thing I think you should do, and I saw this guy's PayPal earlier. I want to sponsor this guy. I want to throw him some money. Like, how do I do this? I've never sponsored anybody on GitHub, so we're going to do it live on stream. We'll give him $25. Oh no. Oh no. I was really hoping they would just take like PayPal or something. I'm not going to do this on... Never mind. Changed my mind. We're not doing this on stream. I tried. We'll do it after stream if I remember. I guess I could do it like off the stream camera. I'll hide this for a second. Aha. You can't see my personal information. Oh, they do allow you to do PayPal, but they require personal information either way. That's kind of lame. Oh, I gotta do like two-factor auth for PayPal. This is really happening. So I was like, this guy needs... Like, support things that inspire you. especially if you have the opportunity to do so. I know not everybody does. Um, Alright, I did a one-time sponsor. Here we go. They have this fun confetti and everything. I'll click that in a second. I'm afraid that link is already too long for how I have chat wrapping right now. Alright, Samir, you got sponsorship for me. Because cool extension for VX to do StackTrace exploration. I mean, I guess I can post this on Twitter. I don't know why every time something's like posted on Twitter, I feel gimmicky because I'm like, look at what I did. Because I'm about to Sherlock you. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of true. I'm about to Sherlock you. Heart. Oh no, it's gotta be the black heart. I don't know if I should post this. That's like, there's some things that I'm like, maybe that's a bad idea. I'm kind of like, nah. That's the thing. I don't understand why people are all like, I want to post this. I just want to tell this person why I sponsored them. I thought that's what this was going to be. I've never sponsored anybody on GitHub. I should do that more often. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't want to be mean to Samir. Like, Samir's done great work, as far as I can tell. Alright, what the actual fuck? Oh. It's a message security version. Of course, those are always dumb. Secure Conversation, February 2005, WS Security Policy, 11 Basic Security Profile 10. What I really want to know is what the difference between Profile 10 and Profile 11 are. Or is there even a Profile 11? Alright, David, this is the, like, this is the problem. This is actually is why I'm like, file.exist is fine. Because everybody's like, oh, file.exist, the file may not exist after that. And I'm like, duh, but what are they going to name it? File temporarily exists exactly on the line that you check this? I'm not going to name it that long. It's basically a boolean that's multi-threaded. Like, come on. Yeah, no, I have feelings about file.exist and why everybody hates it. I also am a tabs person, so if you're looking for reasons to hate me, I like tabs. Oh my god, I don't think I've ever had anybody tell me to go off ping, and it feels like super great, actually. I'm like super empowered now. I'm like, listen to my rants. File.exist is great. Directory.exist is great. You're just thinking about the file system wrong. Oh my god. Oh. This turned out to be a pretty great Thursday afternoon for me. Like, this just got better. I'm just gonna rant on stream from now on. You're too old and white? Oh, so I do my best to give people the space to talk when they can. And actually, Frat Brother probably knows. Sometimes I talk over people, and I don't mean to, and I'm learning as a white person, because we do need to give space to other people. But you can still have opinions, you just need to know how to express them. Twitter is always a great way to express them. Oh, I forgot the N. Like, how do I even program anymore? How do I even type on this keyboard that I bought? Okay. So if there is any text between, we want to do that first. There we go. Now we have the in. Oh, but I do wonder. This didn't do anything. That's cool. We'll debug that in a second. Gotta unload these projects. We don't have to. So I actually, I talked about this a few streams ago, but I have been working on my own intro song and my own background song. It turns out I'm a garbage music writer, but I've been trying, and I think I'm pretty close to getting something that I can put in the background that I composed myself, which I'm super excited about. My first subscriber, maybe I'll play it on stream live. If I get to the point where I can have subscribers and I have a subscriber, maybe I'll play it on stream live. Goals. Gotta have them. You need to be affiliate. Yeah, yeah. So I need 50 followers is the first block I have, but I think the interesting thing is my viewer count is actually pretty good. So thank y'all for being here because you kept my viewer count pretty interesting and higher than a lot of people. So I appreciate that. But I need 50 followers, and so I might have to start begging people. And then I think I need to stream a few more times in a month, and then I can make affiliate. And then when I get a subscriber, I can start. I mean, I guess I technically could do donation streams ahead of time, but I've always thought about like donation streams are something I'm really excited about because I'm pretty passionate about like donating stuff, and I have a few causes I would love to do donation streams for, where I can match donations as well. So I would probably do a donation stream where I do 100% match donations, and then of course since I work at Microsoft also matches it. I think it'll be a whole good thing. October also will be a good month because that's our gift month at Microsoft. So maybe I can promote my stream, get some people from work on here, and we can have some donations going. Yeah, see, this is the thing. I'm pretty sure like half the people that watch my stream are because of you, David. You promote my stream, and then I'm like, yes, people are gonna show up. We're gonna talk, and even if not, it's cool. I'm learning to be entertaining even when there's no people. I did 15 minutes before stream tweet, but I think I need to include it on my tweets that I do .NET tag, .NET and Roslyn, and then occasionally I get Imo to tweet for me. He like retweets me, and then I get like 5 viewers who are like, what did I stumble into? Oh, maybe this isn't that interesting, but at least I got 5 viewers for a little bit. I also need to buy beer for people who are nearby and I can get to promote me. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I need to buy beer for Imo and like persuade him to promote me hardcore. I mean, I've never actually participated in your live streams, but I have watched some of the videos after for trains.net, and I will say you do a pretty good job of explaining things, and it was entertaining enough. So you may have gotten the initial people drawn in, but you remember that you kept them. They're there because they thought you were entertaining, not because Imo said you were. Like, they showed up because of that, but you still had to work for it. What do I have in my clipboard? Next thing to add. What is in my clipboard? Well, this is wrong. What did I do? Too busy ranting about stuff. I already know what I did. Not that. It's... Oh. Oh, because that's link. That's what I did. We'll fix that in a second. Just literally duplicate text on screen. That's fine. Oh, see, this is... I'm surprised this debug assert didn't catch. The input string was not the correct format. Okay, okay. Let's just keep going. We can keep going. That's fine. Okay, what is... Ooh. We only care about line numbers after this, but it says line whatever. So we're gonna fix 2 bugs here. We're gonna go ahead and fix this. minus. And then there's a remove, isn't there? I always avoid regexes, but I kind of think this is the time for a regex, right? Like, we really just want a simple number regex here, so... I always avoid regexes, so I never remember how to use them. This is a boolean? No, that's a match. That's the thing. Every time I do a regex, it feels super hacky. But yeah, we just want to match numbers. I think that's the way to do it. I mean, I guess it's no more hacky than just like split on colon or anything else, right? Oh, David, actually, I had a question for you. You are part of the, there's like this code streaming group thing. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but how do you find that? Like, is it worth trying to get into? Live coders, yeah, the live coders. Is that worth trying to get into? Like, what is the benefit? What is the cost? What everything? Spill the deets. I like to think by watching my stream, you are part of the community of live coders because you're helping me. Why is... I don't know why that wasn't working. Okay, whatever. Ooh, look at that. I fixed the text. I didn't even second guess myself on that one. Yeah. I tell you what. I'm full remote now. Should I just move to like New Zealand or like Australia seems a tough sell. I'm not very good in the sun. New Zealand at least has trees, it sounds like. I think New Zealand does. I don't think Australia does. That was the... I've never been to either country, so maybe I should visit before I decide to just move there. Bam. Look at this. Oh no. Oh no. It just says C. Because C... What? This is wrong. Oh no. No. I hate C colon. Okay, fine. We'll do last index of. Oh no. What did I do? I hit tab. There's +1. It's funny because I solved the bug, but like I solved it in the wrong way, and it just surfaced the original bug after I solved it. Because I assumed that this was saying line number, but really what was happening is because I have console app 4, it's just pulling out the 4 from console app, and that's amazing. Programming. I'm a master of machines. Lunch conversation today was interesting. It was about tardigrades, and we have a video of tardigrades movement now, which is super exciting. So keep track of that. We're gonna learn a lot from tardigrades, I think. Oh, it's so weird seeing the lunch conversations? Yeah. I imagine so. Like, I've thought about it, I'm like, well, David's lunch is like my dinner. So maybe if you want to hang out for your lunch and my dinner, I'm usually working because I have zero concept of time hours. So you should just ping people and join Discord. Like, what's the worst that happens? Nobody joins? And you're all alone like you were before? But yeah, I imagine it's super funny. Especially for the ones I don't join, I kind of get it. But I at least get to see it happen in real time. You just have to, like, scroll up and, like, see it. You should do a morning coffee? Maybe. I don't know. I don't understand how you wake up so early. I'm not a morning person. Which probably is why I'm more overlapped with your time zone, because I'm like, oh, noon is... anything before noon is acceptable for morning. Shouldn't say that on stream. Anyways, where are we at? We get the line number 26 is correct. We get the file name. This, yeah, that's correct. Okay. So the file path matched exactly, so we can navigate to it. I think that failed. Hang on. Oh no! It navigated to line 13. Is it literally just -1? Is it 0 indexed? Oh, that's a bummer. But it worked. It worked, kind of. Morning pumpkin cream cold brew. Brat brother, are you a coffee person? And do I have to say brother, like the wrestler? I'm totally blanking on his name. Hulk Hogan. Oh, yeah, see? This is the thing. I like sweet coffee. Brat brother. This is the thing, I don't like coffee and I live in the Pacific Northwest, but I do like sugar. Yeah, no, this is the time of year. Pumpkin everything. Pumpkin spice, whatever. I don't even know what pumpkin spice is, because pumpkins don't produce spice. What is pumpkin spice? Yeah, no, it is. Oh, maybe I should have rephrased. I know what pumpkin spice is made of, but why do we call it pumpkin spice? But you spice other things with the same thing. Okay, that's fair, I guess. You've never spiced anything with those ingredients ever? Like nutmeg? Come on. Not those specifically four together. Maybe. Ball. So what is a typical autumn like indulgence for Australia? Wait, I know what Vegemite is, but what is fairy bread? Oh man, I should probably explain more because I know people are gonna watch this on YouTube afterwards. Someone else said Vegemite and fairy bread. David has said that there is no consumerism around fall. At least not as far as David's concerned. Okay. Our file thing is working, our symbols are working. Are we just done? Is this it? Nah, I'm just kidding, that's not it. Good to know that all this is working now. Alright, let's go back to the parser, because we're gonna have to handle garbage that people just throw at us. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. It looks great. I mean, I do wonder, would it be more interesting to go through the process of making the UI look more like Visual Studio UI, or do people want to go back to the parser? Um, I'm thinking go back to the parser. That's what we're gonna start doing, unless anybody yells at me. They're like, "Hey, I'd really like to see what happens with WPF when we theme like Visual Studio," and I'll be like, "Okay, we can do that on stream." It's not as exciting as you think, but yeah, yeah. See, I get it. I get it. Tired of WPF already. It's funny because I actually really like WPF, but I can't explain it to people. Like, the thing is, I like UI. I really do. And I think that UI is like how you interact with the user. WinForms! I don't have a lot of experience with WinForms, to be honest. I think XAML makes a lot of sense to me because I started doing web development first, and that goes back to your rant earlier about web everything. But I did web development for my UI first, and then I was like, oh, how do I do UI? And WPF is not that big of a stretch from web development. It is still big, but like compared to WinForms, it's not big. And I think having a declarative representation of things makes a lot of sense to me. And then you have just interactive models that sit behind in code, and they are complex and they need to do their thing. But having a declarative like, oh, I have a stack panel with a button, with a button, with a button, that makes a ton of sense to me. But defining that in code is super verbose, and I hate it. Also, resource dictionaries are a nightmare, but they work. But if you look at the code behind how they work, it's a nightmare. Okay, so anyways, what was I looking at? What was I looking at? I want to look at the tests for this. Because we want to have a test with a bunch of garbage. This is going to be a theory. Alright, so let's just throw in some random things here. Because we want to make sure this doesn't throw, right? Like, we want to... We want to fail gracefully here. And I know some of these actually probably will not succeed. And 26. Actually, this should succeed, but this should fail. If it only has a file name and line number, I think it should fail. We're gonna let these run. I'm gonna take a quick break. You know what I do need to invest in is a be right back soon screen, which I have not done, but I'm gonna stroll away and roll away. Here. All right. Did these tests run? They did not. Why did they not run? Wait, did they run? Never know anymore. There we go. Alright, so let's make these tests pass. How many people are good with regex and are here? Because I feel like regex validation is like the easiest way to do this, but we can do it without. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I avoid it whenever possible, but regex does have its merit, and I think this is it, right? Like, we have a well-defined understanding of what it's going to be like ASCII.ASCII.ASCII parentheses, right? Have fun for the rest of the stream figuring out why the regex failed. Yeah. I wrote a very simple regex in the stream already, so I've done. Oh, thank you. I will. I will enjoy my long weekend. Take it you're taking off? Oh yeah, you need to attend the aforementioned lunch. Have a good one. I'll be around random hours to approve your pull request. Okay. So let's figure this out. So we have something that starts with at, but we want to validate. So let's do a few things. We're gonna change this up a little bit. We're gonna change this to try parse stack trace line. It's gonna have an out parameter of parse line, and it's gonna return a boolean instead. Okay, and then what we're going to do is it seems super wasteful. We're not gonna, I don't know if we declare it here. Can you declare a static variable within a static method? That would be the, where do I write C# features? So we want a grouping of characters. And then we want to escape this for a dot. And we want some number of those. Man, I should not write regex in stream. Okay, so we want characters dot parentheses. Open parentheses. And then anything, one or more characters in between. try that. What did it just recommend me? Is match. I don't know why I put two ifs there. Okay, I think that should make it pass. Look at that. All of my streams. Every time. Green check marks. Okay, so let's we have inline data for stuff. Let's also check that this works without file stuff. Was this my first 17.1 feature? Yeah, I think technically it is. I am working on... this is fine to talk about on stream, but I'm working on changing inline rename as well. So I have that kind of juggling, so they're happening simultaneously, but this is probably going to be the first one that at least ships in preview 1, because we're going to want feedback on this pretty early. And inline rename, I'm hoping I can ship in preview 1, but I never know. And I'm almost done. That's the thing. One thing about this feature, is it has a use case that I still don't think I fully understand, which makes it very tough for me to work with. And I have people okay, this is good. This is good. Why would we break this? And so I think there are going to be cases where I get this wrong, but I do think shipping in preview 1 will help figure that out, right? And we're going to reach out to people that we know we're asking for this and ask them to try it, and see what's wrong there. Because I do think there's going to be a case where this is just not comprehensive enough or not doing what they expect it to do, because I don't know what the expectation is fully yet. Like I think putting something in front of them and having them comment on whether or not it meets their needs is really important for something like this. Does it navigate to code not in source? That's a good question. We should test that out. Why does this not match? Hang on. Do I need to do like can be surrounded by anything? This is all right, hang on. How does regex work again? So I have a set of alphanumeric characters followed by a dot. Oh, I need a plus. Okay. So one or more of those, but without a dot. That's what I need. There we go. I just did regex wrong. Which is why we don't do regex. Very easy to get wrong. It's very, very powerful when it's right. But oftentimes it's very hard to remember why it's wrong. Yeah, you just look it up. Yeah. We do have a feature that explains some of the regex escapes and stuff, which is kind of cool. So why did this fail? Did I remove my breakpoint? I think I did. I did not. Yeah, no, the best bet for regex is just to look it up. Ooh, what is going on with this line? And what did I do wrong? What? No. Oh, I think, no, I've hit this bug before. Where the test explorer is using the wrong thing. Let me reload Visual Studio. Test explorer is literally loading just the wrong thing on this. It's gonna ruin my stream. How do things not go back in their place? Windows. All right. I can align this. We're good. Good enough is good enough for me. So now we have to wait for everything to load through again. Just gonna keep hitting shortcuts until they work. Yeah, there's an active bug on the preview builds for Test Explorer to it's not always using the updated binaries, which is a problem. Don't worry, it's being fixed though. Might already be fixed. Just not in the build I'm using. What? I don't need to source link it. Like, source is right here. What if I just build? Sometimes it's really hard to advocate for a tool that doesn't do good for you while you're doing things. But Visual Studio is a great tool. It really is. VS Code is all like second in my mind. We used to use Vim for a while, and I don't remember any of the Vim bindings, so like maybe I should get back into that because I think Vim bindings are super powerful. And I've gotten to the point where I think they would benefit from the keyboard setup I have, because I switched to a Moonlander a few months ago, and it's a split keyboard and layered keyboard, and it's kind of wild. And I still can tell like some things I just mentally can't go over sometimes. Like, how do I delete one word? And that used to be like super quick on my previous keyboard because I would just do Control backspace, right? And now I have to think about it. I don't know. Maybe now's the time to relearn Vim. And can delete 2 words instead of 1. Although the benefit really comes in at 3 words, because 2 words and 1 word are 1 button apart and 2 buttons apart. Just ranting about Vim while I'm building, because I got nothing better to talk about. But Vim is pretty cool. And should check it out. There's also Vim bindings, so you can do Vim bindings for VS. Never used it. A few people on our team do. Kind of crazy. I don't know. I don't know what to talk about on stream while this is building. I don't have anything better to talk about. I had like stuff that I was doing and I got interrupted by Visual Studio. Do we just talk about the weather? Do we talk about, I don't know, have y'all seen What If yet? Where are we at on this? Where are we at? Best Vim keybind is the money sign. That goes to the beginning of the... No, that goes to the end of the line, right? What does the money sign do? Yeah, end of line. Did you know most keyboards have a button for that? Not to downplay them. Them is great, but end as a button usually is on a lot of keyboards. Right click constantly? What? You have bad keyboards. Oh. No. So, I was about to show you, but I just went on a rant about my keyboard, and it's like, there's no end button on these things, unless I program it in. But, hang on. I do have a keyboard here. This has an end button. So here we go. Where does this work? How does this work? The end button is right there. Right next to delete, page down, page up, home, insert. I shouldn't have this many keyboards. No, Mac keyboards are good, they're just different. At least they last for years. Hey, look, we can debug our own code now. I'm not bitter, you're bitter. I think we should swap these in order of specificity. This requires a bang, and this one just requires a simple pattern, but the pattern may exist in both. I think is why it might have been wrong. DD, yeah, no, DD is a great key binding. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I typoed something. Yeah, I think once we get all of these tests passing, this would be a good close to the stream. It's been a good stream though. I think we got a lot done. We're getting close. I think the last thing we have to do is theme the UI, and then we can ship it. We'll need to add some more test cases, obviously, but I'm gonna get more stack traces on that and just add test cases. Waiting on compilation. Maybe I should like play a video game while I'm waiting on compilation. Like Darkest Dungeon or something would be good. Just do like 5-hour streams where like half of it is Darkest Dungeon and the other half is me coding. Who could tell the difference? Alright, come on, Test Explorer, you got this. We want 5 out of 5 passing. We're still not at 5 out of 5 yet. Oh, I already know. We don't wanna yield multiple things for each line. Alright, here we go. We're gonna hit 9 out of 9. Seven out of 9? What? Did these just not run? What is going on? Let's run these. I need to see the 9 out of 9. Has to happen. Alright, that's a green check mark. We're gonna get a green check mark on this one. What? What is wrong? Everything is green. Why are these showing wrong numbers? Oh, there we go. They updated. They were just slow. I don't know why it doesn't say 9 anymore, but all of them are passing, so that's the important thing. Alright, we're gonna end the stream there. It has been a good stream. Thanks for hanging out with me. We will hang out again probably in a week or two, depending on my schedule and everything else. I'm still kind of frantic about how I do my streaming schedule, so I apologize for that, but I know that it's better if I can have a solid schedule, and Thursday has been working out for me Pacific time, so that's the day I'm plan on that, but we'll see. It all depends on work schedule, energy, and everything else. I want to be here. I want to do the right thing. So it's been a good stream. I appreciate you checking me out. Thanks for hanging out with me while we add a new feature into Visual Studio release 17.1. Look for it there, and I will catch you next time.